colleagues, I welcome you to today's sitting.
On Wednesday, 12th April 2023, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, directed the executive to provide clarification on accounting officers who have been suspended over the last 3 financial years.
I saw the permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury disqualifying some people as accounting officers, dropping them as accounting officers. But these people maintain very serious positions in government. If someone does not qualify to be an accounting officer, it means that person cannot keep finances of the country safe. So why keep them in positions of responsibility?
I would have expected the PSST to attach comments against the name of each officer who has been dropped. The reason as to why the person has been dropped. What was the issue? That would make it very, very easy for us to understand the reasoning so that we follow up.
I bet you these people will get cleared between now and the 30th June. That's the practice. So we have to look at the underlying. Why do they raise it before the end of the financial year?
For instance, in my district, the PDM money that has been mismanaged. Right Honorable Speaker, without the intervention of the RDC and the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, we wouldn't have recovered part of this money. We had to follow, because after the money has been mismanaged, it was transferred to another district.
The issue at hand is an issue which is central in the fight against corruption. I wish to inform this House, Mr. Speaker, that we are not supervisors of these accounting officers. We only work with them in as far as management of monies are concerned. The rest is done by ministry, local government, and in the central government, they are respective.
If there is some impropriety, then that definitely becomes a criminal matter, and the person who should take responsibility is the person who is head of all the permanent secretaries. It's the office of the president and head of public service, and then on the other hand, the auditor general who points out this impropriety, and not so much really the Minister of Finance. So if there is something, money has got lost or something, like when it got lost, for instance, when the pension fund got lost, yes, the office of the president took action, and the officers who are involved in that really were committed before court, and they were arraigned, and they are serving sentence.
In the sitting, Parliament recommended the establishment of an independent technical evaluation team for Isimbi hydropower project to ascertain its integrity.
On August 8, 2022, Isimbi powerhouse flooded and some equipment was affected. The committee was also informed that the power plant has an automated system with control and protection mechanisms, as well as flood sensors, which were triggered to ensure staff safety, protection of equipment, and prevention of potential dam failure. Whereas the signal to shut down came in just before the flooding, the crane at the gate failed to respond to the signal, and so the UEGCL operations and management team had to shut it down manually. The joint technical team and the contractor should expedite the investigation process over the actual cause of the flooding at the powerhouse, so as to find a lasting solution to dam failures and avoid similar incidents in the future.
This is a very important business of the house. Power is the economy itself. If it is not there, then the economy is in shambles. And that's why I said, all those which have been raised, be on the Hansard and go and sit and bring a comprehensive report, even showing you what we have so far done to make the dam achieve its capacity of 183 megawatts.
Also in the sitting, the Minister of State for Sports, Honorable Peter Ogwang, revealed that the renovation and upgrade of the Mandela National Stadium in Namboole to international standards has been affected by delays in the release of funds.
The Parliament of Uganda appropriated 31 billion in the financial year 2021-2022 budget and an additional supplementary funding of 67.20 billion for the renovation and upgrade of the stadium and the recurrent expenditure. The stadium received 80.137 billion, that is 82%, towards the close of the financial year 2021-2022, as on June 13th June 2022. The project performance for civil works out of 40 as of now stands at 32%. The procurements which will conclude in the 2 months' time stands at 68%.
Thank you for your very clever guidance.
On Thursday, 13th April 2023, lawmakers asked government to establish sports stadiums in the different regions of Uganda following presentation and debate of a report by Parliament's Education and Sports Committee on the failure by government to secure a Chinese grant to construct Buhinga and Akibua stadiums in Kabarole and Lira districts, respectively.
The Minister of Education and Sports should come up with a proper master plan for all regional stadia. I think that includes the one of my brother, to enhance infrastructure development, identify and develop skill and talent which will boost sports discipline.
We should think of establishing stadia at least at the level of the cities that we have created in this country.
I have seen the Ministry of Finance bringing loans for other projects, and I see no reason whatsoever why we cannot get loans to finance Buhinga Stadium, Akibua Stadium, and others.
These stadiums, if they are developed, they can correct NTR, and this money can be recovered.
But what about the stadiums? Like St. Mary's Chitende private stadium. Why didn't the government help the private investor develop that stadium? Because it's for our own. Lugogo Stadium for KCC. Why don't the government put there a good budget so that can be developed to help the talents of this country?
The youth are becoming drug addicts because they don't have what to do. They don't have jobs. They don't have what to do, so they engage in what they can afford to do. So if we keep them busy, they will be tired and they cannot do wrong things.
The football federations of Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania have agreed to make a joint bid to bring Africa to East Africa for the first time in 66 years. Under Rule 59, where I can bring a motion without notice, I call upon this August House to support Uganda's bid to host the Africa Cup of Nations 2027. Because when we host, the issues we are discussing of infrastructure will automatically be absorbed, because there will be a requirement for us to improve on the infrastructure that we have.
I therefore put the question that this House support the proposal that Uganda join the bids for the hosting of the 2027 AFCON with other neighboring East African countries. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary. Aye, they have it. Honorable Magogo, you can see the support colleagues have for the sports sector. Is government committed to develop the sports infrastructure? I want to say in affirmative, yes. I have instructed National Council of Sports under the guidance of my senior minister to move across the country to identify and meet local leaders with you colleagues to ascertain the question of land.
In the sitting, members of parliament asked government to boost security in the northeastern cattle corridor to curtail the rustlers who continue to wreak havoc in the region.
Abim neighbors Agago and Otuke. So when you hear Agago and Otuke crying, it means Abim has cried enough. The armed rustlers have continued to launch attack on the people of Abim almost on a daily basis, stealing the remaining balance of livestock. Government should tailor disarmament to focus on the hills of a beam where the raiders seem to be hiding.
Committee of this parliament will be going to Karamoja very soon this month, 23rd and through. We are looking at going on the ground with them to see what are the loopholes. And we cover this. But the commitment is that I've taken the concern and I'm going to talk to the division commander and we'll see how we can be able to help.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama, warned resident district commissioners against blocking Women's Day celebrations in districts.
Last year, Right Honorable Speaker, a woman member of parliament organizes a Women's Day, spends her money on in the night before the event. The function was cancelled by the RDC. It was that bad. I left it to pass, thinking this year will be better. Right Honorable Speaker, you have seen members of parliament, women MPs, continuously being harassed. We had Mitiana last week, we had Luwero, we had Ngora, we had Kasese.
I am here as a testimony that I organized a Women's Day in Ngora district last year. The RDC, the one Mr. Ecom, blocked it at 9:30 p.m. And there was no compensation, there was no reason. This very year, 2023, still Ngora has not celebrated a Women's Day in a proper way. And the Minister of Gender has directed us, the women member of parliament, to be on the lead for the Women's Day.
You have the obligation to celebrate that day as a woman, so it is unfortunate that you've been mistreated in such a way. The RDCs are not supposed, they are not supposed at all to discourage or to refuse women to celebrate their day. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm going to take it in my office to call the people who have been involved in this, but I've said it here that RDCs are not supposed to refuse women to celebrate their day.
House adjourned to Tuesday at 2 p.m.